Hi, I'm Ben Volin, NFL writer for the Boston Globe. And with the NFL draft finally upon us, we can finally get some answers to the questions that everyone's been asking for 6-7 weeks now. Who's going to be taken at the top of the draft? As of now, the Houston Texans have the number 1 overall pick, but if I had to put my money on it, I don't think the Texans are going to be picking their number 1 overall. I think they see some good value at the top of the draft, but maybe not for the number 1 pick. I don't think Jadeveon Clowney is going to be their pick. I think that's a risky move to be putting a guy in a new defense, a new position, 3-4 outside linebacker, ask him to do things that he hadn't really done before in college. To me, Jadeveon Clowney's a pure 4-3 defensive end, pin his ears back and go and get the quarterback. So frankly, I see the Texans trying to auction off that pick to the highest bidder, maybe someone like the Falcons, maybe someone like the Minnesota Vikings, Jacksonville Jaguars with Gus Bradley. You know, they would love to have a guy like Jadeveon Clowney. So to me, I think Clowney will be the number 1 pick, but I don't think it'll be to the Houston Texans. There's been a lot of talk about where the Texans are going to go. To me, it's either going to come down to Khalil Mack, the pass rusher from Buffalo, who I believe is a much better fit for their defense, or I still think they very well might go quarterback. You hire Bill O'Brien as your head coach. He's a quarterback guru. I think he's a guy that you can trust to develop your quarterback. To me, the guy is clearly Blake Bortles from Central Florida. I know he's not as polished a prospect in recent years as a guy like Andrew Luck or Matthew Stafford, but he's got the most check marks, I think, when you're looking at a quarterback. Big body, great arm, playing a pro-style offense under George O'Leary, and I think you could probably entrust Bill O'Brien to develop a guy like Bortles. I think he's a much better fit than a Teddy Bridgewater or a Johnny Football, especially for what Bill O'Brien likes to do with the Texans. So I could see them trading back a few spots and then taking Blake Bortles, although, again, there is still a lot of buzz about Khalil Mack. To me, though, the Texans, they already have J.J. Watt and Whitney Mercilus and Brooks Reed. They have the pass rushers already. Quarterback is clearly the biggest need for them. That's why I think the Texans are going to take Blake Bortles. After that, I see the Rams going after Greg Robinson, the tackle from Auburn. I think the Jaguars are very much going to be in play for Johnny Football, and if not, then they're going to be looking for Sammy Watkins, that electric receiver out of Clemson. Taylor Lewan, the tackle from Michigan, I think is going to be drafted very high. Atlanta at number 6 looks great. There's probably going to be a surprise player in the top 10. I like Justin Gilbert, the cornerback from Oklahoma State. Not only a terrific cornerback, but also a great return guy as well. And then I only see 2 quarterbacks going in the top 10, but I do see Bortles and Johnny Manziel both going in the top 10. After that, I think Teddy Bridgewater is going to drop down all the way to the 2nd round. Right now, I have him as my 6th quarterback on the board. I think Derek Carr, Zach Mettenberger, and Jimmy Garoppolo will all go before Teddy Bridgewater does in the 2nd round. To me, he's this year's Geno Smith, a guy that enters the draft with a lot of hype, but the hype doesn't match the production, and I don't think the scouts like him as much.